Hello, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Lauren.
And this is I've Got Guts, a podcast about living and thriving with chronic illness.
And all the things that take guts to say out loud.
We're here to talk about the hard stuff, the stuff that's messy, complicated, and often left unsaid.
From chronic illness to everyday life, we're creating space for honest conversations, real connection, and a lot of laughs along the way.
And just so we're clear, we are not medical professionals. We're just two best friends sharing what we've learned and what we're still figuring out.
So you don't have to do it alone. Hello, everyone. Today is a very, very special day. Guess what, Rome?
What?
We are celebrating our 1-year anniversary, and today, this episode is officially our 50th episode. 50 episodes of conversations, deep honesty, laughter, tears, and everything in between.
This is so exciting. When we started this podcast a year ago, our goal was simple: create a space where people living with chronic illness could feel seen, supported, and a little less alone. And showing up every week with you, the people listening right now, has become one of the biggest blessings in our lives.
It truly has. Every DM, every message, this made me feel understood. You have no idea how much that fuels us. You guys have helped us create a community where real stories matter, where we break the stigma, where we can talk about things most people keep quiet. I mean, really, who talks about poop like we do?
Exactly.
And somehow still laugh our way through it.
So to everyone who has listened, shared an episode, told a friend about us, or played us while driving to an appointment, thank you. You are the heartbeat of this podcast.
We are so grateful you're here, whether you've been listening since episode 1 or today is your very first time. We cannot wait to keep growing, keep sharing, and keep having the conversations that take guts to say out loud.
Here's to year 2 and the next 50 episodes.
Cheers to that. I got all the feels. This is so exciting.
I know.
All right. Well, let's kick it off with our Thorns and Roses.
All right.
Thorns.
Thorns.
You go first.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was so excited to finally have like a weekend with nothing to do, right?
Those are the best.
So I slept in yesterday. I wake up and I'm like, I slept like 10 hours. I wake up and I'm like, holy, what the heck happened? Like, I feel like I didn't sleep at all.
Oh, no.
And I was like, what is going on? So like I went downstairs, I ate a little bit of something, but I was like, honestly, I felt like I had 100-pound weight sitting on me. And I'm like, something's wrong. Something feels very wrong. And we happened to get a blood pressure cuff because Anthony's blood pressure has been a little bit high lately. So we wanted to monitor him. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, let me just take my blood pressure was like 85 over 53.
Oh, yikes. Spikes. Isn't like average like 115 or something like that?
It was low and I knew something was wrong. So I text Anthony and I'm like, listen, I don't feel good. My blood pressure is really low. I'm going to lay down. He's like, do that. I don't do that. So
of course you don't.
I'm like walking around doing something and all of a sudden I'm like, it's coming. I knew I was having a blackout. And I should have known because Rena was up my butt yesterday. She's following me around the house and she hasn't done that in a while. And I knew it was coming though. So I got down on the ground. I let it ride its course or whatever. And I stood up and I was like, oh my God, I can't. So I went on the couch, text Anthony again. I'm like, okay, so I had a blackout, but I'm okay. Now I'm really going to close my eyes. I passed out, like hard sleep, passed out for
yikes.
2 hours.
Well, not yikes. That's a good thing. You needed a nap.
I also knew something was wrong because Juniper passed out on top of me. She was like on my chest purring. Like she never does that. And I woke up from the nap, still felt terrible, had this terrible pain in my left shoulder. Anthony's mom is a nurse, so we called her and she was like, just eat a lot of salt and drink some electrolytes.
Right.
And
see how you
if
feel.
It's still that bad tomorrow, you might have to go to urgent care. But I woke up today and it's still low. My blood pressure is always low, but not that low. But I feel much better. So it had to just be that my body was like anticipating the blackout and then recovering from the blackout.
Right. And like, when do you usually have the opportunity to catch your blood pressure in that moment, right?
Yeah,
too. So
exactly.
I wonder if that's like your norm right before a blackout.
But like I got nothing done.
Oh,
you know? Like,
I know.
I know it was a day to do nothing, but when I say do nothing, that also includes like doing stuff that I've been putting off and I didn't get to do any of that. I didn't even get to watch my shows because I was like...
That's a crime room. That's what weekends are for.
Exactly.
Oh, bummer. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better today.
Oh, me too. What's your thorn?
Okay. Well, mine has to do with a tree.
Oh, okay. I'm dying to hear this story.
Okay. So right next to our patio, we have like, I don't even know what kind of tree it is. Like it's with the red
ugly.
leaves. It's beautiful in the spring. It's like pink flowers.
in the
and
spring.
then for like one day and these beautiful pink flowers and then makes a holy mess after it sheds or drops them or whatever.
It's the middle of summer and you're out there leaf blowing like it's the fall.
Every day. It was like my arch nemesis this summer. I go out there, I'm like, there are leaves everywhere. And all summer long, those little red leaves. We're sitting out there laying out and like leaves are falling. I'm like twitching. I'm like, I can't take another second of this. So I really want to cut it down because it just annoys me. Luckily, it actually has a fungus. It needs to go.
Yeah.
So we had an arborist come take a look at it. And we got some crazy quotes, like $1,800 to take down this tree.
Kiss my rear end.
It's not like a huge tree. It's like average.
It's not that big at all.
It's not. And so we ended up getting a couple of quotes and everything was astronomical. And I'm like, Sean, I think you could cut this down. So we asked around for a chainsaw and nobody had any we could borrow. Actually, Heather, my friend at work, her husband has a ton of chainsaws. I think he has like 6 different ones. Because I guess different ones are good to use for different trees, size, who knows.
Okay.
So I didn't realize Sean wanted to do it this weekend. So I got home. He's like, all right, we have no hockey games this weekend. Nothing was going on, a down weekend for us. He's like, I think I'm going to cut down the tree. I'm like, oh no, but I never asked Heather for the chainsaw.
Oh no, what'd you do?
Fun fact, from Home Depot, you can rent tools.
Oh.
So I went on for like $45. I could rent a chainsaw.
Do they just trust you with their chainsaw?
Sure do. Okay. Even Heather said the same thing when I asked her. She goes, wait a second, they just give anybody a chainsaw.
Yeah, that seems risky.
And you can take a chainsaw if you want it. You look crazy, take that chainsaw. Go ahead, do whatever you want with it. So I'm like, so here comes the thorn. So Sean, I don't know what Connor and I are doing, but we're standing there like watching him, supporting him. And I don't know how energetically, I don't know what I thought we were doing. He cuts it, almost all of it all down. And then all of a sudden he's like, here, and it just died. The chainsaw died. Oh. So here we are in the you will die if you saw my backyard right now. It's just all of these branches and these logs that need to be cut further and they're not.
So now what? I feel like Home Depot has to do something about this.
So then it started to rain. So Sean was going to go back to Home Depot and get another one. I'm like, you know what? Forget this. The time you go 20 minutes, return it, get a new one, come and do it, bring it back. I'm like, this is crazy. How about we just sort it all in a pile? And then I'll get a chainsaw from Heather tomorrow at school. And then you will just do it a little each day.
I mean, I feel like just don't let anybody see you exchanging chainsaws in the school parking lot.
I know, right? I'll be like packing them in, looking around. How many chainsaws do you have in your trunk? And what are you doing with those? But they gave Sean, Home Depot gave him like a hard hat,
oh my God,
shield,
please tell me you took a picture of
it. No, he goes out there willy-nilly with sunglasses on to protect his eyes. I go, babe, you got to put on the headgear. He's like, I'm not wearing that shit. I'm like, okay. It was just, oh my gosh. So now Kenzie is like so intrigued by like, what is this very large mass of branches in the middle of my yard? So yeah, we're just trying to get this. I'm excited though because there'll be no leaves next summer.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice for us. But also we lose some privacy.
I was just gonna say, hello neighbor, because we're gonna have to do something. Either Sean's gonna build something for his grill, or maybe we'll do like a privacy fence or get more of those like arborvitae trees that are natural privacy. So
I'm telling you, my dad, he got like a portion of a fence just specifically to block out his next door neighbor's view.
You know what? I honestly think that would be like the easiest thing to do and like kind of clean and cute.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
I wonder if we look into that. So until then, we're going to be just really friendly with our neighbors.
You can honestly just like every year add a portion to the fence and eventually you'll have a fully fenced in yard.
That's so true. We could just slowly but surely build
Merry Christmas. I got you a fence panel.
What do you want for your birthday? I'll take 2 fence panels, please.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, stay tuned. I'm sure this thorn will carry over to next week.
I cannot wait to hear about it.
All right, let's get into roses. What's your rose?
Okay, so I have 2. One's just a small, fun one. Our favorite comedian, Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh, yes.
He came out with a new stand-up comedy. It's called It Ain't Right, and we watched it this weekend, and it was everything I needed because if you're a teacher, you know, the week before a break week is hard. And last week was hard.
Everybody is just becoming unhinged.
Hard. I laughed so hard I peed my pants a little bit and like I could not breathe. There was a point where I was concerned I was going to stop breathing. I was laughing so hard. I just can't. If you like him, I suggest watching it. My mom watched it too, and she was like, "I peed my pants too." She's like comparing notes with me, and she's like, "And my dogs think I'm crazy," but it was hysterical. Oh man, so that was a nice little pick me up this weekend. But my big rose is we finally talked to a doctor.
Yes, tell us more.
At the fertility clinic after finding out that our doctor has again left the clinic for an unknown amount of time. So I was very firm. I said, I will only talk to this doctor. And all of the pieces I pulled a U. And I was like, Anthony and I both went for tests this week. And I'm like, all the results are going to come back in time for me to talk to the doctor. And I firmly believed it. And you know what? All the test results came back in time to talk to the doctor.
You decided. The power of your internal decision. Energetically, you decided it was happening. And it did.
Start calling me a little D-side. So it happened.
D-side too.
And everybody, guess what? Took a pelvic MRI. I do not have adenomyosis.
Oh my gosh, yes. This is huge.
I do not have it. It's been confirmed. The pelvic MRI is the golden standard for diagnosing. The doctor said he could see where on the sonogram they could have potentially thought it was that, but it's not that. I do have to go get surgery, exploratory laparoscopic. Can't say that word, an exploratory laparoscopy to look for endometriosis. Because he basically said, we have a reason that you're not creating a lot of embryos and good quality ones, but we don't have a reason that you're not getting pregnant. Right. He goes, when I see a case like this, my first thought is it's probably endometriosis. Okay. So I'm going to go for that, but in a surgical setting because if they find it, they want to be able to get rid of it.
All right. So they're just going to go in there and clean it up if they need to. But if they see nothing, they just tie you up.
Yes. And he said, worst case scenario, we have to excise the endo. Okay. And you have to heal for a little while. And then we could do a transfer. Best case, we go in and see nothing. And we chalk your losses up to your embryos just were not genetically normal. And we just keep transferring until we hit the one that is, you know?
Right. Which makes sense. I love this plan. I feel just exactly what you've been wanting. You've been asking for a plan. You've been asking to feel that certainty, and you do.
The only thing we're unsure of is if we want to squeeze in one more retrieval. So the test that Anthony went for is to test for something called DNA fragmentation. Mm-hmm. And he's 23%, which is 3% over normal. He's going to talk to his doctor on Monday to see if it's that much of a difference. But they do this procedure called a TESI, which is testicular sperm.
Ooh, so they had to go in there. The needle. Oh, that's going to be, hopefully he's going to be sleeping for that.
Yes, he would be sleeping for that. So, Broom, we might need you to take us to our next retrieval. We're going to need a designated driver.
But I will be your designated driver.
So we're going to see if we are going to do that, we're going to do it with this cycle. So it would happen over Christmas break.
Which is so nice. So then it gives yourself time. You don't have to worry about taking off from school and you can get it done when you're home already.
Because I'm a little worried about my time with the surgery, looking for endo and everything. So I want to be cautious here.
Yeah, it's so smart. I love this plan. Right? I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. It's a solid plan. I know there are some people in my life who are feeling nervous about this plan, but I am not. I am feeling confident in it.
And really, guess what? The only person who really matters is you and Anthony.
Exactly.
Turns out it's only about you guys, not about anybody else.
Exactly. Thank you. What's your rose?
All right, Room. Well, my rose this week is how proud I am of myself.
I'm proud of you too.
Thank you. Because the course I developed, we did a whole episode on the free mini course that I developed and the paid course that I did. Well, the Mindset Flow, the big bad boy that I've been working all summer on, it is officially live. And it feels just the culmination of months of pouring my heart into something I know will truly support people living with chronic illness. And I wanted to share who I created it for because I want you to know if this is for you or not. And I feel like it's probably basically for every single one of our listeners. Because our listeners are really the reason why I did this. You guys were my motivation. That desire was put on my heart and I felt like I needed to share what I know. So I created this for anyone who's newly diagnosed or overwhelmed, for anyone leaving appointments feeling scared or confused, For the person putting on a brave face while trying to hold everything together inside. I feel like I could get emotional. That was me last week. Mm-hmm. It's for anyone exhausted by symptoms, flare cycles, and uncertainty who just want to feel like themselves again, and people who want hope, peace, and a plan. So I made it for all of you guys.
That's
and you know I love teaching, right? I mean, this is just both of us. This is our passion. We've known it, and this is just where it lies for us. And creating all of the lessons and the tools and the meditations and everything, it just lit me up, Rome. Like I have this fire and this joy in my heart, and I cannot
I see it right now, right in your eyeballs.
I can't even explain it. So every module in the course is something I've personally lived and used, from calming your nervous system to grounding before appointments to making decisions from clarity instead of fear. From you just took one of my strategies that I use all the time.
I just decided.
Deciding it's going to work out, showing up with that energy, putting your energy there versus putting your energy to the
good.
What ifs, right? Don't you feel so powerful?
I did feel real bad. Not going to lie, I felt like a sorceress.
Yes. So, and that's what it's about. So if something in you is saying, this might be what I need, my course is available. Cheers. And you can find the link in our show notes. And fun fact, I have my own domain.
Ooh, I'm so proud of you.
LaurenO'Reilly.org. If you type that bad boy in, you'll see the whole description.
Spell O'Reilly for everyone, though.
Oreilly.
There you go.
Don't want to mix. Okay, I think I might have shared this before, that after I got married, I used to mix up the E and the I.
Exactly.
So my rose is this moment, Rome. It's seeing something I've poured so much into finally out in the world for people who need it. And I'm so freaking pumped.
I'm pumped for you. I can't wait to see the outcome of all of this.
Yes, me too. So, all right.
Well, enough about us, Rome.
Enough about us.
We need to talk because Cozy Earth has officially upgraded my entire sleep life.
Same. I didn't think these sheets could actually change how you sleep until we started using theirs.
Right? I fall asleep faster, I stay asleep, and I don't wake up sweaty. It's like the first time in years I've actually felt rested.
And now you've dragged me into your Cozy Earth spiral because you keep sending me links.
I can't help it.
I'm like, oh my God, now I need this. Okay, now I need that.
First it was just the sheets. Then I started eyeing the sweatsuits and the towel sets. And now I'm deep into the throw blankets.
This is fair because we've been looking for a throw blanket that doesn't get destroyed after one wash, right?
Exactly. Every throw blanket I owned, it pills or it shrinks or it gets crunchy.
Oh, that's the worst.
Cozy Earth blankets look like the first ones that will actually stay soft and beautiful.
And honestly, everything on their site feels like a safe bet. Premium, cozy, gorgeous, amazing gifts, or gifts for myself, which is my personal favorite category.
And because Cozy Earth sponsors our entire podcast, our listeners get 41% off everything with code IGG. Truly the best discount you'll find anywhere.
Plus free shipping over $50. And I love this part, 100-night sleep trial. And wait for it, a 10-year warranty. What?
Yes. So if you want better sleep, better towels, better loungewear, or the perfect throw blanket, head to CozyEarth.com and use code IGG at checkout for 41% off.
Love it. All right. So let's get into our episode today. We are going to be diving into one of the most common and honestly painful experiences people with chronic illness face. And that is, it like literally stirs so much inside of me. Not being believed. The medical gaslighting, the dismissal, the whole, your labs are normal, Lauren, so you're fine. If you've ever walked out of an appointment feeling smaller, confused, or like you imagined your symptoms, this episode is for you.
And if you love someone with a chronic illness, this is a powerful window into what they're up against. Today, we're breaking it all down: the signs, the impact, and how to advocate for yourself without burning out.
All right, so let's start by grounding this in what medical gaslighting actually sounds like in real life, because it's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's these tiny dismissals that build up over the years.
Yeah, like the classic, your tests are normal, which very quickly turns into, so your symptoms must not matter. And we've both heard that way too many times.
My God, yes. Yes. Okay, so let's just talk about my childhood. 17 years I went being an undiagnosed celiac. 17 years. As a child, like you're already going through so much. Nobody believed me. Doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong. And in the end, everybody was just like, oh, you have a nervous belly, or oh, it's your anxiety, or you're dramatic, or you're too much, or you're a hypochondriac. No, everyone, I was an undiagnosed celiac and everybody was feeding me gluten.
Exactly.
So I have like lived it for a long, long time.
Yeah. And what about the one that we all get? It's just stress. I swear that stress has become a medical scapegoat. And meanwhile, you're like, oh, actually, it's because my body is malfunctioning. Thanks.
Right. I mean, okay, here's the thing though. Stress can exacerbate symptoms, right? But that you may have going on, but it's not going to be the only thing causing your symptoms. There is an underlying thing going on. And we know when we're stressed, it can make things worse, but it's not the only cause.
No, it's not the only cause. And I couldn't agree with you more. And there was a time where I knew something was wrong and they kept telling me it was stress. And I got to the point where I did actually believe that, but I did not give up on myself. And I pushed for testing. And guess what? Turned out I had thrush in my esophagus for the second time. And it was like they just wanted to tell me that it was stress instead of running a test. It made me feel like as soon as they walked out of the room, they were talking about me like, oh, hey guys, like, guess what? Steph diagnosed herself again, and like laughing about me in a room together.
And turns out you were right.
I was right. They just are, I don't want to say lazy, but lazy. Like, another the same time. You just ran this test a year ago. Well,
it's been a year.
It's been a year.
Come on, Sherlock. Let's investigate this.
I know.
Well, another one I used to hear when I was younger was, you're too young to be sick, as if chronic illness has an age requirement. Just because I was a kid didn't mean I didn't have something real going on. And just being that undiagnosed celiac for most of my childhood really did a number on my mindset.
Oh, I bet.
I was so young, and I looked to the adults, in my life for support, for help, AKA my pediatrician.
Sure.
Like, if you really think my family members, my mom, my dad, honestly, they were doing the best they could with the medical advice we were getting, so you can't really blame my family, but you know who you can blame? The pediatrician who did not diagnose me correctly, or at least try. I trusted him. I believed him when he told me I was fine, and I was just lactose intolerant.
Yes.
Remember, 10 years I didn't have dairy. And you think about it, that's a long time to take ice cream away from a child who lived down the street from Carvel ice cream.
Now they don't even have Carvel anymore.
Right, exactly. So that was really hard. It was really hard.
It is hard. Here's another one I really hate. Try losing weight or exercising more, which were you even listened to?
Right.
Were your symptoms even taken seriously? I'll actually never forget when I was rapidly losing weight in the throes of my gastroparesis diagnosis. Do you remember that?
Yes. Oh my gosh. You were dropping pounds like nobody's business.
Insane, which turned out to be a whole combination of things. I had a broken esophagus and swallowing was really hard for me. So I wasn't eating a ton because that was scary. And I was healing from IMO, which, for anyone who doesn't know, it's intestinal methanogenous overgrowth. So I had methane-producing bacteria inside of me. I had thrush in my esophagus, and something else was wrong. I knew it, but my doctor said maybe some yoga would be beneficial.
Oh my gosh, as the fire just burns in your heart.
I've never wanted to slap someone so hard. And 2 weeks later, I was diagnosed with C. diff. So yoga probably would not have helped.
No, definitely. Actually, yoga probably would have made it worse. You probably would have ended up pooping yourself on the mat.
I probably would have.
Oh gosh. Okay, wait. How about this one, Rome? Women tend to exaggerate their pain.
Mm-hmm.
People still say that in 2025, which blows my mind.
Women's health in general is just not studied and dealt with the way it should be. And then the pain tolerance myth, the emotional woman thing. How about after my nice and fun duplication surgery when I knew something was really wrong and I was constantly throwing up, constantly nauseous, and that surgeon kept telling me it was in my head and maybe it had to do with my cycle or it was my IBS interfering with the procedure. I'm a dumbass. Who's going to believe that?
Right.
I felt myself shrinking, honestly, whenever he gave me one of those excuses. 2 years later, my OBGYN and my primary care finally believed me and sent me for the 4-hour gastric emptying study, and I was officially diagnosed with gastroparesis. 2 years of not being believed.
That you just carry that with you, right? And it just eats you alive because here you are having these symptoms. I was watching you. We're throwing up everywhere we went.
Yep.
Literally.
I had a student in my class that we had a code word, and if I had to puke, I would say the code word, and she would get up and teach the lesson for me. Come on, that's ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. ridiculous. So ridiculous. All right. And then there's the non-decision decision. Let's wait just a few more months and see.
I hate that one.
Ugh. Meanwhile, you're suffering while the clock is ticking, and they probably could be investigating something more instead of just letting time go by.
Right, exactly. And then the communication issues. When the doctors talk at you, not to you, that tone makes you feel like you're wasting their time.
Or when you get conflicting information from different providers and feel like you're the one expected to magically synthesize it all together. Okay, turns out, newsflash, I didn't go to medical school. I went to Oswego for education.
Exactly.
Don't have a degree here to diagnose myself.
And the worst is the moment the tone shifts, when advocating for yourself turns you into the difficult patient. And I've definitely had that moment. The same story I was telling before about no one believing me that I was sick after the surgery. My gastro actually did an endoscopy and noted possible gastroparesis and never bothered to mention that to me. He sent me on my way, making me feel like I was being difficult, but I wasn't. And if he had just talked to me about it then, how different would my journey have been? I will always wonder that.
Right. And it's just so mind-boggling. Like when you see something, you say something. I mean, that's like a motto of life.
Exactly.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. And I think the heartbreaking part of it all is people start doubting themselves, not the system.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's why we're laying all this out. So people listening can go, oh, wait, that wasn't in my head. That was gaslighting.
Exactly. If you've ever felt dismissed, minimized, talked over, or blamed, we want you to know that you are not alone.
Ever. So now that we've talked about what medical gaslighting looks like, let's talk about what it actually does to you, because the impact is so much deeper than just a frustrating appointment.
Yeah, so people think gaslighting is just an annoying doctor or a rude comment, but when it happens over and over and over, especially when you're sick, scared, or just trying to get answers, it causes real, lasting emotional and physical harm. When I think about my life, it really was only throughout my childhood that I felt this. Once I was finally diagnosed in my early 20s with celiac, from that moment on, I felt heard. I felt supported. I have amazing doctors, right? And it's so refreshing for me after 17 years of being dismissed. I have to say, I would maybe think the only other time was when I had my parasite, and I laugh because I just think about Sean.
Oh my God.
In this moment. Sean. I had my parasite and I was dropping weight at an alarming rate. And literally my primary care doctor was dismissing me like nothing was wrong. And that's when Sean called and flipped out on her and I got kicked out of the practice.
Well, hey, he was advocating for his life.
So yeah, I guess I could say undiagnosed celiac all those years and then the parasite situation. I definitely was being gaslit in that situation.
So I think a big one is the emotional impact. So emotionally, it messes with you when you start doubting yourself. Am I overreacting? Am I imagining this? And once that seed is planted, it grows really fast.
It does. And there's also this shame that kind of creeps in, right?
Yeah. And the anxiety before appointments becomes like its own chronic illness. You rehearse what to say, you bring notes, you try to anticipate every question so you won't get dismissed again.
You're basically losing trust, not just in that doctor, but sometimes in the whole system. And the trauma of a delayed diagnosis, that stays with you. I mean, I carry that around with me still today, those years of not being heard as a child, you know?
I mean, I was only 2 years, and the impact that's had on me is tremendous. I can't imagine the 17 years that you went through.
Right. Crazy.
And all these stories that I just told, it wasn't just that the doctors were wrong. It was the way I walked out of these appointments feeling small and ridiculous, like I was the problem.
Yes. Okay. So this makes me think about the time I had my gallbladder out. Yeah. And every test was coming back normal. Do you remember that? Like I had the CAT scan, I had the blood work, I had the ultrasound. Then I went for the gallbladder test. Yeah. And that showed my gallbladder was normal. Like everything kept coming up normal. So, but here's the thing. We had Dr. Kim, our old gastroenterologist who we loved. He looked at me and saw me physically. I was checking every box for someone who was having like gallbladder disease. And even though my tests were normal, he went in to do the laparoscopic exploratory surgery. And they got in there and they found my gallbladder looked like a diseased one of a 50-year-old man. Yeah. And I was like in my early 30s then, or maybe late 20s, I think.
We have the same story.
Yeah.
The same thing. All the
so
tests came back
crazy.
normal, but I didn't do the exploratory thing. I just was like, take it out. And once they took it out, they were like, yikes, that was bad.
Right, exactly. And for me, I knew going into that, it's kind of like your endometrius like diagnosis that you're either going to get or maybe you don't have. They are going to go in, or they went in and they were like, if my gallbladder was fine, they would have never taken it out. But obviously, they whipped that baby out. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, so crazy.
Okay, so then there's the physical cost because medical gaslighting can literally delay diagnosis for years.
Right. Conditions worsen while you're being told your labs are fine. You miss the early window where treatment would actually help maybe sometimes. And I mean, my body was literally attacking itself for all those years. And when you think about it, that's autoimmune, right? So as soon as I went gluten-free, and my body stopped attacking my small intestines. And with celiac, it's your villi in there. Once my body stopped doing that because I went gluten-free, then my body started attacking my heart. Then it attacked my esophagus. Then it attacked my thyroid. So here, it's my body, because of all of those years, that's why I'm sitting in this chair talking with you today about chronic illness, because of that one mistake from that one doctor of not figuring out what was wrong with me as a kid was that ripple effect into my life and why I have all these other autoimmune conditions. It's crazy.
Or you end up in treatments that don't even match what's wrong with you because they weren't listening in the first place. Or worse, your doctor keeps trying the same thing over and over because it's easier than investigating what's really happening. Like I had 75 colonoscopies. Why?
I know. And that drink already is like, it's like a torture chamber, right? Exactly.
And then there's the relational impact. And this part doesn't get talked about enough, that relational fallout.
Yeah, because if your doctor doesn't believe you, sometimes the people around you don't eat. No, they eat. They don't either. And growing up, my family thought I was crazy. I mean, my uncle actually called me Mona because I was always moaning in pain. Like, what? Yeah. I love him, though. He is the best. He didn't mean it. He was trying to make light of the situation.
Right. Yeah. And then partners can misunderstand the severity and friends think you're overreacting because the doctor said you were fine.
And I think that just makes you feel alone in your own body. Like you're carrying the truth all by yourself.
Yeah. And loneliness inside a chronic illness is a different kind of pain.
It really is. And that's why we're doing this episode. So people listening realize they're not crazy. They're not dramatic. You're not alone. And this happens to so many of us, and it has a real impact. We're here to validate your feelings.
Yes. So let's talk about why it happens. So if you've been gaslit by the medical system, the biggest thing we want you to take away is this. It wasn't your fault. There are real structural reasons this happens, and none of them are about you not advocating hard enough or not explaining yourself clearly.
Exactly. This is a system problem, not a you problem. And when you understand the why, it becomes easier to let go of that shame or self-blame that you've been carrying around.
So the biggest one is appointments are short, ridiculously short. And most doctors have 10 to 15 minutes to hear your symptoms, read your chart, make a decision, document everything, and then get to the next patient.
And chronic illness does not fit into a 10-minute window. Complex symptoms don't fit into that kind of time pressure. And so doctors will take shortcuts, and sometimes those shortcuts are dismissive. I think about when I went to my primary care last week, when I was having pain from my kidney stone. I saw a new provider room because my primary care, I called that morning, and the chances I could get in with Dr. Wise was not very high. So I saw a new physician assistant who was brand new. You could tell she was just right out of college, and she was college, yes. She was wonderful, but I was like hunched over in pain, dying, trying to be like, okay, she's going through my list of medications. And then I'm like, all right, let me give you the lowdown. Okay, I'm like, so I have my swallowing disease and I have this and I have that. And you could tell she was overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Not only by what I was sharing and about my chart, but also the fact that I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
And it was such a short appointment. But I do have to say, she did such a great job what she could with the allotted time that she had with me. So
you're lucky because not many people get that.
I know.
And then there are biases, and these are huge. And women especially get labeled as anxious, dramatic, emotional, or stressed.
Younger patients get told they're too young to be sick. Patients in larger bodies get told to lose weight before anyone even runs a test. It's crazy.
Yeah, none of this is okay, but it's real. And understanding it helps you realize your symptoms weren't dismissed because of you. They were dismissed because of bias.
And let's talk about the invisible illness stigma. I feel
we
like
love talking about
We
this.
love talking about the invisible illness. And it's that whole, you look fine, Lauren. You look fine, Steph, because people assume you're fine because you look that way.
Right. Gastroparesis, endometriosis, autoimmune conditions, celiac disease, all the things you can't see on the outside get put in the non-urgent category. And it's awful, but it's a big reason so many of us struggled for years before someone finally listened.
So let's move into specialists who think inside the box.
Yeah, I hate this one too.
Another issue, they only look through their own lens. So a GI doctor might ignore hormonal causes. A gynecologist may ignore digestive causes. A neurologist might ignore autoimmune causes. Like, I have to say, though, when I went to my urologist after my kidney stone, he looked over everything. I have no other kidney stones. He was just very thorough. And then he looked at my CAT scan and he goes, Lauren, you still have a lot of fluid in your pelvic area. And he's like, and cysts, and you're prone to them. He told me to go to my gynecologist. He's like, and the bloating that you described that you have may not just be from your digestive tract and your achalasia. It could also have to do with the cysts and, the fluid in there. So go see your gynecologist, who I will be seeing on this coming Wednesday. Right. But it's not all the time that doctors are thinking to refer you to that next step or have you check in with somebody else,
Right. And when that doesn't happen, you become a ping pong ball between departments and everyone's thinking inside their box, and your symptoms fall through the cracks because your body doesn't fit neatly into one specialty.
Oh my gosh, I feel like that's the story of my life.
Exactly.
Right?
Me too.
And most providers aren't trained in multi-system complicated illnesses. Conditions like endometriosis, connective tissue disorders, they don't get much coverage in medical school, right? So they're looking for just the average person, right? But we walk in, somebody with multiple chronic diseases, autoimmune diseases, we're so complex, our whole case. Yeah. They just don't even know where to start, right?
So if your presentation isn't textbook, they literally don't know what to do. And instead of admitting that, they dismiss you.
Exactly. I feel like all my diseases were tricky to diagnose because the symptoms that I was presenting with didn't check all the boxes, or it was rare, or it's like only 2% of the population experienced that. Oh, perfect. Lauren O'Reilly's got it. Yeah. And it's because these diseases I have are rare and it's not normal for someone my age, et cetera, all of that. It's easier for doctors to say, oh, Lauren, it's anxiety, or maybe that might be a little bit of reflux. And they just don't know enough about it. I mean, I do have to say, the doctor I saw when I went in for my kidney stone, she did try to say something about oh, it could be acid reflux or something.
God. No,
I go, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm like, I just saw Dr. Jones, my thoracic surgeon. I just had an endoscopy. Everything looked amazing. I have no sign of any type of reflux currently going on. So she's like, oh, all right. Right. But that's textbook trained, right?
Yeah.
That's the next logical thing you would say or talk about.
And then there's the pressure to move patients through quickly. And the system as a whole just pushes providers to move fast. Short appointments, high patient volume, insurance limitations. My primary care doctor, every doctor in the practice left all at once because they were feeling so frustrated with this.
So
and
crazy.
She literally said to me, I saw her a week before she left. She said, I can't do this anymore. She's like, you are a complex patient and I can't give you the care that you deserve because of this. And she did move into concierge practice, and I would have honestly loved to stay with her, but the cost for that is so insanely expensive.
What is concierge?
Concierge it can't go through your insurance. So you basically
have to pay everything out of pocket?
It's $100 a month just to be a patient. And then that's just for your yearly basic maintenance. If you get sick, you have to go in and pay another fee.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So I loved her. She was my doctor for so many years. I just couldn't afford it. It didn't make sense. And now I'm stuck with a junk nurse practitioner who just sends me to a doctor. I'm like, well, this is wrong with me. Can you run blood? Nah, you got to go see this specialist. Thanks. What are you actually doing?
What is your role? What should you be doing? Let's figure this out. And your complex symptoms, they're time consuming, right? Which means you become that difficult patient. Rome, how many times have you felt that way, right?
Every time.
When the system is broken, not you. And that's exactly why my brother went to a holistic doctor. Yeah. Just think about it. If he he never did, he'd be still walking around in pain, not knowing he had Crohn's.
Still having everybody poking up his holes. Like,
yes, he'd have everybody extracting things from holes, checking holes. Poor kid. Oh, gosh.
All right. So now that we've talked about what medical gaslighting feels like and why it happens, let's move into the part that honestly took me years to learn: how to advocate for yourself without completely draining yourself, because it is exhausting and it shouldn't have to be, but here we are.
And we want to give you tools that feel doable, even on the days when you're running on fumes. These are the exact things we use ourselves and recommend to our communities.
Mm-hmm. The biggest one is bring a written list of your top symptoms. Start with the 2 to 3 things that are impacting your life the most. Doctors respond better when it's concise. Something like, these are the symptoms affecting my functioning the most this month.
Yes, I love that. And start the appointment with a clear goal. This one really changed the game for me. Instead of letting the appointment wander, I say, here's what I need help understanding today. It immediately shifts the tone and you become the agenda setter, right?
Yes. Yes. And then use ruling out language. Doctors love a framework. Try, can you help me rule out blank? It's calm, it's collaborative, and it makes it harder for them to brush you off.
Yes. When you feel dismissed, we also want you to name it gently. Like, it can be really powerful. You can just say something as simple as, I feel dismissed when my symptoms are attributed only to stress. Can we explore other explanations too?
Yeah.
Something else might be going on. Can you help me, right? And you're not accusing them. You're just redirecting them, right? Mm.
Ask for documentation in your chart. This is the power move. Say, I'd like that noted in my chart. And suddenly the room changes and everyone gets serious because it's accountability.
Yes, it sure is. Another idea is to bring a support person with you when you go to these appointments, a partner, a friend, a sibling, someone who can be an extra set of ears. Sometimes just having someone in the chair next to you changes how the appointment goes. So I feel like I keep going back to the old kidney stone episode. It's so fresh in my mind. But Sean brought me to the appointment. Obviously, I was on all fours in the back seat. And he's like, I'll come in with you, babe. I'm like, no, I don't want to expose you to all these germs. I have no idea. I was cracked out of my mind in pain. So I don't even know. So he drops me off. I go in and I was in so much pain. I ended up having to call him to come in. He brought me some meds. And then afterwards we were talking. I'm like, were you there when she said this? I missed. I was supposed to get a strainer and be peeing through a strainer to catch the stone. I totally missed that because I was in so much pain. I wasn't gathering everything or consuming everything that she was saying. And I wish I would have had Sean just come in with me, so.
Yeah. Another one is second opinions are not rude. You're not cheating on your doctor. You're gathering information, full stop.
Yes. All right. And what about switching doctors is not a bad thing. I mean, we'll say it directly for anyone who needs permission. You are allowed to leave a provider who doesn't listen to you.
Yes.
You are not stuck. You have the choice to leave and go elsewhere and get a second opinion.
Self-preservation.
Yes. Okay. And lastly, check with your insurance company because really, as we were getting the idea to do this episode, Rue and I are literally on the phone talking about it.
This was crazy.
It was so crazy. So I just got home. She's telling me I think we should do this episode. I'm like, oh, I love that because a lot of listeners I feel like would benefit from this.
Yeah.
I opened the mail and a letter from my insurance company. Are you ready for this?
Ready for it.
Dear Lauren. We welcome you to join other members who are managing a chronic condition. Our case management team wants to help you to meet your health goals. There's more. Yeah. Healthcare is more than covering medical bills. It's about living a healthier lifestyle, and we are here for you every step of the way. And then it just gives you bullets. It's like in case management, you can work with nurses, social workers, other healthcare providers. We are here to work with you and your doctors who can help you understand the healthcare system, give you resources, help you manage your chronic condition, talk about treatment options. This is a whole beautiful thing. And they give you a bulleted of everything how they can support you. And they give me a number to call. And I read this. I was like, wow, this is wonderful. I did not know that this was available through my insurance company. Did you?
I knew it existed because I was just going to say my therapist. Our therapist told me about this a long time ago. And she did actually say too that she could be present at the meeting to tell them how my conditions are affecting me emotionally, psychologically, all of that.
Get out of town. Are you serious about that?
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Yes, because having someone with you, it almost makes you feel stronger.
Right. So, and if you don't have a partner or a parent or a sibling to bring with you, this could be the person that comes to appointments with you.
Or I'm even thinking too, like maybe you have a parent or a grandparent or somebody in your life who is struggling with a chronic condition and you can only support them so much and they don't have somebody or they need somebody else, or something more. This could be an option. So I encourage you to call your insurance company and see if yours offers what mine did. It was just, and I'm like, I wonder what flagged them to send me something for chronic, because they're
like, oh my God, this girl has another thing.
Oh God, she's back getting all those manometry, endoscopy, like
kidney stone.
Red flag, red flag, red flag.
All right, so now we want to give you some practical and organizational steps. So a big one is a symptom journal. It doesn't have to be fancy. You can use your notes app, just make bullet points, and sometimes patterns help doctors take you seriously and they help you trust yourself.
Yes, I honestly, when I was like right before I got diagnosed with celiac, I remember I was writing down like in a journal what I ate each day and when I felt pain to see if I could see a pattern, and I did it for myself. And then I did bring it to the doctor, and it was great data because sometimes it's just so hard to like explain, you know what I mean? Off the cuff. But when you have it all written down, it's so much easier. Speaking of things that you're writing down, send any MyChart messages, right? Whatever system your doctors and providers use, send that message, ask for clarification, confirm what they said. All of that matters. And they give us the option to message them for a reason, right? Yeah. And there is a cap on the number of characters you can have.
Yes.
So I feel like if you were typing a whole thing to them and it's saying you've reached the maximum number, you probably should call and go in, right? If it's more than.
The nice thing about this though is it's proof, because I can't tell you how many times I've used this and I'll bring it to my doctor and be like, actually, we did talk about this. I have it here in this MyChart message.
Yes. Okay. I love that. And you know what else? This just made me think. Last week on Tuesday, I had to change the date of my migraine shots at my neurologist. So I messaged on Tuesday. I said, I can't make the appointment on Friday. When does Dr. V have other appointments? We went back and forth. They never canceled my appointment. They gave me a new one, but they never canceled that one. And then I got a letter in my chart saying, like, you didn't give 24 hours notice. If this happens 3 times, you'll have to leave the practice. I was like, what? So then I screenshot my message from my chart and I said, as you can see below, at this time on this date, I sent a message saying I could not make that appointment. I needed to reschedule. So it was not an error on my part. I would never do that. Like, I'm not the person who ever cancels like that. It's just inappropriate. You're taking a spot for an appointment. And if you miss it, somebody else could have benefited from that spot, you know? So
another big one is follow up on test results. If something looks off, ask, can you walk me through what this means for my situation? Don't let abnormal results sit in the void. I always say this, you care more about your health than any doctor does. So advocate for yourself.
Yes. And, ask for referrals directly. Use the portal if you feel anxious calling, I'd like to have a referral to GI or to rheumatology or pelvic floor PT, whatever it may be. You don't have to wait for them to offer it because they may not, right?
Yeah.
And you know your body.
So let's talk a little bit about emotional care while advocating, because this stuff hits deep. It's okay to cry after an appointment. Sometimes the only release your body has left is tears. It's okay to grieve not being believed.
That is a real grief. It's not dramatic. It's not overreacting. You are not difficult.
You are a person trying to get answers in a system that wasn't built for complex, chronically ill bodies. Advocating for yourself is not rude. It's survival.
It sure is. And I hope you are hearing this and it's resonating with you because we want to give you that power, right? All right, let's talk about how friends and family can validate. So this next part really, I think, is so important because a lot of people listening might not have a chronic illness themselves. Maybe you're the partner, the friend, the sibling, the coworker, and you love someone who keeps coming home from appointments feeling defeated or doubting themselves.
And if that's you, this is where you can make a huge difference because medical trauma doesn't just come from the doctor's office. It's shaped by how the people around us respond afterward.
Yes. Okay. And here's what support actually sounds like. Ready?
Ready for it.
I believe you. That's it. Let's start with the simplest, most powerful sentence. Just, I believe you. No questions, no corrections, no trying to play devil's advocate. For so many of us, that validation feels like oxygen. Like picture the oxygen mask in the airplane and you could breathe again, right? Coming down.
And how can I help you prepare for the next appointment? This shifts the dynamic from helplessness to partnership. Maybe it's helping them make a symptom list or going over questions or rehearsing what they want to say. Sometimes we need a hype person more than anything else.
Yes, and offer concrete support. We talked about this in a past episode.
Last episode.
Actually, it was last episode. Not, let me know if you need anything, because most chronically ill people will never ask. Instead, like we suggested last week, try these things. Do you want me to drive you? Want me to come and sit in the room with you? Can I text you after you check in? You know, specific options like that make people feel safe. Like even when your mom was in the hospital and I was just like, I didn't know what to do. So I just was like, I'm coming to the hospital and I'm going to sit with you.
I wouldn't have asked. Anthony couldn't come with me because he was taking care of all the animals and I genuinely needed someone
and I knew you did.
And I wouldn't have asked.
I was just like, hey, I'm on my way. As long as it's okay with Tony.
Yeah. And for friends and family, understand the emotional weight. Medical trauma is real. Even if the word trauma feels big to you, trust us, it fits. When someone is just dismissed over and over, their body remembers and their heart remembers.
Yes, and do not say, just trust your doctor. Even if you mean it kindly, it can land like the doctor's right and you're overreacting or you're wrong. Why don't you try, how did the appointment go? How did it feel to you, right? Simple things like that. Just a little tweak in your language and your words, it can make such a powerful impact.
Ask what support would actually help. Chronic illness isn't one size fits all. Some people want to talk, some want distraction, some want someone to sit silently next to them while they decompress. Ask what kind of support would feel good right now.
Yes, I love that. All right, let's bring it back to relationships. And this is where everything ties back to what we talk about so often, how chronic illness reshapes relationships.
And when loved ones show up with curiosity, compassion, and actual validation, it doesn't just make appointments easier, it strengthens the relationship. It reminds the chronically ill person that they're not navigating all of this alone.
Because being believed is true healing. Being dismissed, it hurts. But being supported, being seen, that's what makes the difference.
Okay, so after everything we've talked about, the dismissal, the frustration, the doubt, we want to end with hope. Because rebuilding trust with your body and with the medical system is possible. It just takes time and gentleness.
And I want to start by saying this. Your body is not the enemy. Even if it's been unpredictable, even if it's been loud, even if the doctors have made you feel like your symptoms were all in your head, your body has always been trying to talk to you, not work against you. Learning that again is part of the healing. And my God, that's like exactly what I'm delivering in the course that I developed, right? Because your body is communicating with you and just wants to be heard.
It does.
Take a listen.
I think one of the biggest steps in rebuilding trust is finding a doctor who actually listens, someone who hears your full story, not just the first 30 seconds. They are out there. And once you meet a provider like that, it's like your nervous system finally exhales.
Yeah, it reminds you that the problem was never that you were too sensitive or too complicated. It was that you weren't being treated with respect. A good provider helps rewrite that narrative.
Yes, and you have to learn to trust your intuition again. After medical gaslighting, your intuition can feel foggy, like you don't know what's real anymore. But that inner knowing, it comes back.
Yes, every time you listen to your body, every time you advocate for yourself, every time you follow a gut feeling, follow your gut, you strengthen that muscle again. Your intuition isn't broken. It was just ignored.
Yes, and then the power of community stories. Community is a huge part of healing. Hearing other people's stories helps you realize, oh, it wasn't just me. And that validation can be life-changing, hence why we do what we do here on this podcast.
Exactly. That's why we share our experiences on a podcast. It's why people find comfort in each other's stories online. When someone puts words to what you went through, you start trusting your own voice a little more. And I'm just like, as we're saying this, I'm flashing in my mind of so many responses from listeners talking about that. You made me feel heard. You helped me not feel alone, right? All of those those beautiful words that people say to us. Oh my gosh, love you guys.
Don't start crying.
I'm not going to cry.
And then healing from past invalidation takes time. If you've been dismissed or misdiagnosed or minimized, that leaves scars, and it takes time to untangle yourself from that.
But healing is absolutely possible. Little by little, you relearn that your symptoms matter, your feelings matter, your voice matters, and you deserve care that reflects that.
You're not behind. You're not dramatic. You're not imagining things. You're someone who lived through a medical dismissal and is learning how to rise from it.
And we, of course, are right here with you, figuring it out, finding better support, and reminding you that your story is worth being heard.
Yes, queen. So if this episode brought up memories or emotions for you, you're not alone. Being dismissed doesn't mean you imagined your symptoms. It means you deserve better care.
And if no one has believed you yet, we do.
Mm-hmm.
We always will. You're not dramatic. You're not too much. And you're absolutely not making it up. We love you guys.
We love you guys. All right. So before we leave you, another quick shout out to our sponsor, Cozy Earth. Treat yourself or someone you love. It is the holidays to the softest, coziest sleep at cozyearth.com with our exclusive code IGG at checkout.
Are you loving the podcast? The best way to show it is by leaving a 5-star rating and a few kind words. It helps us to keep growing and reaching others who need to hear they're not alone.
And be sure to join our email list. The link to sign up is in the show notes or in our bio on any of our social media platforms. Being a part of our email list is the best way to stay up to date on new episodes, special guests, recipes, book recs, and so much more.
You can also connect with us anytime on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook. Just search I've Got Guts Podcast or email us directly at ivegotgutspodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you so much for being here and for being part of this community. We're so grateful for you.
Keep going,
Keep growing,
and always remember, you got guts.